Gentlemen, we are live here in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as on the Roku app. Mike, if you don't mind, just move that banner up underneath, right above Bada Bing. We're going to have that call-in segment right before we go to the Bada Bing segment. But if you guys are just now tuning in, you're live here with your host, the Sauce God, as always, right here on Facebook and YouTube, and also streaming for the first time for the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show right here on the Roku TV app. So, Mike, welcome in, brother. It's Saturday. We usually do the show on Wednesday night, 7 p.m., but you know me. I'm working second shift right now. But does that stop us from talking Buffalo Bills and going live? No, it does not. We're here live on Saturday. Want a quick shout out to my guy, 12 Gauge Backstage, who's the producer. But Mike, how you feeling today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm actually kind of excited that we got to move to Saturday because Wednesdays, it's the middle of the week. Maybe it's a work night and we kind of don't get to talk as much as we want to. So today's great because it's Saturday. We can have as much fun as we want with this.
Excellent, man. So, hey, we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills and Bengals matchup on Sunday night. Last year, we faced Cincinnati twice, and we know what exactly happened the first time we played against them. We played against them on Monday night, and we all remember what happened that game. Terrible tragedy, but a really great redemption story from Damari Hamlin. He, of course, went down due to cardiac arrest after suffering a hit on the football field. Mike, we went against them in the playoffs last year, and I think it was an incredible disappointment. So I think a lot of people in the national media and out there just that are football fans are really doubting the Buffalo Bills, Mike. So we got to discuss the Bills coming in as an underdog in this game. Should they be? I don't know. And Mike, we're going to have to talk about that. We're also going to have to talk about the quarterback sneak evaluation of Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, two of the best quarterbacks in the game going head-to-head for really – this is the third matchup between the two, Mike, and I'll tell you what, this is something I think that Josh Allen has a moment to step up. We got to talk about the injury report. We got to talk about the offensive and defensive keys, but you're live here in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show, and this is presented by www.buffalosaucegod.com and also presented by Duff's Famous Wings, the best damn chicken wings. If you're watching on the Roku app, do us a favor. Join us on my YouTube channel at Buffalo Sauce God. Check out me across all social medias at Buffalo Sauce God. And if you don't want to go on YouTube, check us out on Facebook at Anthony Bomasudo, your source for all your Bills updates. And, of course, I'm the Sauce Guy, your source for daily entertainment. So, Mike, let's play this introduction video and let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor. If you haven't already done so, hit that like and share. Let's get rocking and rolling. You're live here in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show.
This is Northeast Streaming Sports.
Let's get this over with. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's simple, baby. Buffalo Bills football is back, all right? And we tell you something.
We're going to crack a cold one because since it's a tailgate.
Ooh, ice cold, Mike. Let me tell you. Ice cold, nice, refreshing with that blue. Beer store behind J817.
It's a cold front is what that is.
I'm whipping the sauce, I'm tripping, of course, I want it all. All of my dogs be running with guard. Your mama, you're holding your pennies and bra. Cause when I get whipping the sauce, you taking it off. I'm dancing on tracks like stomping the yard. We keeping it quiet, we moving the signs. But now we starting to riot, yeah. Keeping my eye on the prize. I got me a queen, we riding like Bonnie and Clyde. Trips to Dubai, the way I be blessing. I'm destined for changing my decimals. Decibels hitting the wave, I'm rapping incredible. Splitting their head like a cantaloupe edible. Got me so high, I'm touching the sky. Of course, I give it my all. I'm whipping the sauce, kicking the door. But then we been here before. She ain't involved, well, she ain't involved. Taking my shot, even if down, we tying the score. Be a dancing on twist, don't stress.
Of course, you're live here in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show right here on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live as well. This is presented by www.buffalosaucegod.com and presented by Duff's Famous Wings, live with your hosts, the Sauce God and Mike Shimburski. Mike, tell the folks where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter or X, I guess now. Mike Shimburski at MIKWell2531, and right here on Facebook, Mike Shimburski. Since we've been doing the show, I've been, getting quite a bit of extra followers. I get keep it coming, guys. Talking about the show, asking about it. I don't think we're changing our time slot at this point. We're staying on the Wednesdays once we can get back to them. But I do like this Saturday. This is fun.
And it's nice to be live here on Saturday. Of course, we're closer to game time actually in this rate. The game taking place on Sunday Night Football. And yeah, that means we have to listen to Chris Collinsworth. But I'll tell you what, Mike, I prefer Chris Collinsworth over Tony Romo all freaking day. I don't know what it is about Tony Romo. I don't get along with that dude. He's almost like Mac Jones to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are just now tuning in, though, please do us a favor. Hit that like and share. Join us here in the comments. If you're watching on the Roku app, join us on my Facebook or my YouTube channel so you can join us here in the comments as well. Make sure to do me a favor. Turn those notifications on after you subscribe, like us, so you don't miss any of the content from myself and Mr. Mike Shimburski. Mike, I'll tell you what, bro, you got to definitely be excited today, too, because you're going to get a chance to obviously talk quarterback play, and that's your specialty. And you got two of the best in the freaking game. Now, I also want to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have posted below on the ticker below the hotline number that you guys can actually call into. For the first time, we have this hotline opened up. The phone number for that is 716-800-1772. You guys can actually call in and ask us a few questions, myself or Mike, or give us a little quick shout out. Please keep it PG-13. And if you're going to keep it rated R, then don't have anything hateful. But Mike, I think we got ourselves a banner right there, perfectly set up. I appreciate that very much. Ladies and gents, go ahead and feel free to call into this hotline to discuss the Buffalo Bills and the Bengals hey, Mike, this is a big matchup, man. Now, real fast, before we go into any sort of segments or we actually talk about our analysis of the game, tell me, how do you feel for the game? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel like, confident? What's your thoughts right now?
You want me to be completely candid and honest? I'm nervous. I just don't like where this game lands in the season, and we're only so far into it, and this game's so important. Just the odds in general for making the playoffs go so far down. For either team if they lose this week, it means a lot for both teams, and it's almost a must-win for the Bills this week.
Yeah. Immediately my reaction is I'm seeing the Bills obviously coming as underdogs points wise, and I definitely can understand that. I'm sure a lot of people are betting Bengals. They're playing really good football right now. Joe Burrow has been having some of his best games of the season as of late, especially against the Niners. They looked really good against the San Francisco 49ers offensively and defensively. I know that Trey Hendrickson was a little hobbled, and we all know that Joe Burrow is still technically recovering from that calf injury, but there was a lot of discussion too, Mike, as far as, with the Bills, were the Bengals going to possibly trade T. Higgins, and it turns out that he was not moved. Tyler Boyd wasn't moved, and the Bengals didn't make any sort of big-time significant trades. But the Bills obviously made some significant moves, and we're going to discuss that later in the show as well. We got tons of segments, guys. We got Bada Bing, Bada Boom today. We got Forget About It. We got the Victory Formation. We've also got the pain trains. We've got the QB sneak and getting saucy as well. But right now we have the call-in hotline open for those of you out there at 716-800-1772. Give us a call if you want to discuss anything Bills, Bengals related. If you guys got any sort of questions or any sort of picks or any this sort of analysis for this game, we are open right now and in business. This is the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show, live on Facebook Live, YouTube, as well as on the Roku TV app. Check it out at Northeast Streaming Sports. And by the way, Mike, real fast, I'm going to go ahead and play that video one more time for anybody out there that has Roku TV and you want to watch us on your TV. Check this app out right now.
This is Northeast Streaming Sports.
All right, so I've got the hotline open right now, 716-800-1772. And Mike, we're going to open up that hotline for a good part of the show, but honestly, I might even leave it open for the whole show. But make sure to do me a favor, ladies and gents, check me out on social medias at Buffalo Sauce God, on Facebook at Anthony Bomasudo as well. Turn the notifications on. I got my guy 12 Gauge backstage. I believe I've got a call coming in here very soon, Mike, as well. So I'm excited to talk everything Bills, Bengals. I'm excited to hear your breakdown of the analysis for the Joe Burrow and Josh Allen matchup. Josh Allen right now is technically playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football with his quarterback rating being so damn high. Mike, right as of late, are you feeling better about Josh Allen's play and the way that the offense is trending?
Yes, I am actually. I really liked what they did against Tampa. The pace and the tempo was way better than some previous games. I think what they found is that there's been success with the hurry up offense when they're trying to get it going in the third quarter when they need points. And so now they're going to use that early and often throughout the game going forward, and it helped a lot. I also noticed too that the injury to Dawson Knox has kind of opened up the gates for Kincaid. So I saw some production from the rookie that I really like to see, and they're using him a lot in the middle of the field. It's helping Josh have a little bit of an outlet there, and like I said, that speed and tempo. I hope they keep that going all season.
Yeah, Mike, I liked what I saw more in the last game from the Bills. Obviously, going against the Buccaneers, we saw them spreading the football around quite a bit. Turns out we got our first call in to the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. You're live here on the hotline 716-800-1772. Who do I got here? "12 Gauge, what's going on, brother? What's your first? What do you got for us?" I like that question very much, 12 Gauge, and appreciate you for calling in. And like I said, ladies and gents, feel free to call into the hotline right now at 716-800-1772 for the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. That was 12 Gauge calling in. He had a question for us. As far as Mike, do you think that the Bills will cover the spread? They come in as a 1.5-point underdog, and in some sports books, as high as 3. And I would say the Bills are 2.5. Let's put it at 2.5. Would you say the Bills will cover the spread?
Yeah, I think they will actually.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got.
I got a hunch. I got a hunch about this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. With that being said, ladies and gents, you see the call hotline number is available. Feel free to call in. You're live here with the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. Mike, let's get it going. Let's talk about this action with Bada Bing, Bada Boom. As far as what have the Bills been doing right and well recently?
This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away. You got to get up close like this. Bada Bing! Bada Bing!
Yes, and Bada Bing, Bada Boom, Mike, this week is going to be what have the Bills been doing well as of recently? And I'll tell you, Mike, it's the fact that we're finding out that we have more than just Stephon Diggs on offense. Last game, Stephon Diggs had 9 catches, and it was very, very quiet. 9 catches for 70 yards he goes for, which is still a very efficient game. And Stephon Diggs did make some very crucial catches down the stretch. But Gabe Davis looked really good. Khalil Shakir obviously having his best game this season as a Buffalo Bill looked really good. And overall, Mike, Dalton Kincaid, the rookie, looking solid, getting his first tutty. I think really what the Bills are doing well recently is the fact that they are still finding that this is a really well-built team and that there's other ways that you can beat football teams. It doesn't just have to be Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Sometimes it needs to be Josh Allen's feet. So the fact that we kind of continue to evolve our identity in the form of trying to find our identity is something I think that the Bills are doing kind of in the right direction to correct some of these woes that have been going on as of recently, Mike. But what do you got for me? What do you think the Bills have been doing really well as of recent? Hey, Mike, I got you. You're muted, buddy.
How about now?
Okay, we're good. And by the way, we got another call in right now. You're live in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. Who do I got here? Addison, how you doing, man? First time viewer, huh?
Yeah, first time calling in.
First time. What do you got for us, brother? You're live here.
Yeah, so first off, how's it going, guys? Great to be on the show. Thank you very much. Love that you do this. Second, I guess one of my questions that I have that I'm really curious about is how do you guys feel about the additions that we've made on the defense in preparation for this game?
I like that very much. Thank you very much, Addison, for calling in. And of course, guys, call in to us at 716-800-1772. After you ask your question, I'm going to politely hang up on you and answer that question for you live. Mike, he says to us, after the additions that we made, how do you feel? I definitely feel damn good. You know what I mean? I feel like I at this point, and Addison, as I was saying on here too, I'm gonna hang up on everybody after they get their question in, but I want you to be able to hear this answer live as well. So, Addison, for me, I think that the Bills addressed their defensive back issue with the best way possible, and a guy that could play well in their scheme with Rasul Douglas. They didn't give up very much draft capital for him. I think that we wanted, obviously, Jalen Johnson from the Bears. We wanted Pat Surtain, but the asking price had to be too high. And I'm sure the Bills, as much as they understand that the title window is kind of short at this moment, they still don't want to sacrifice their future, because I think they believe that this is a team that can remain competitive, not just for this season, but for seasons to come. But, Mike, what do you got to add to for Addison's question?
It's a great question. What I love about it too is, it is something that don't have Davis White for to play this week. So I picked up absolutely.
Yeah, I like that question very much, Addison. Thank you very much for calling into the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. And if you're watching live, make sure you do us a favor, hit that like and share, join us here in the comments, and also subscribe to us if you're not already doing so, because this is the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show presented by www.buffalosaucegod.com and also presented by Duff's Famous Wings. We're live normally on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but this week and probably next week, we're going to be live on Saturday at noon. So, Mike, I'll tell you what, I'm feeling really good so far with what we've got and the questions from everybody so far. But feel free to call in, ladies and gents, at 716-800-1772 to discuss with Sauce God and Shimburski on everything that we're talking about for Bills and Bengals. But, Mike, I like what we got so far. Let's talk about it some more with our next segment here of Forget About It, and what do the Bills need to not do in this upcoming game that's going to make us say forget about it. Let's play that freaking video.
What's forget about it? If you disagree like a Lincoln is better than a Cadillac, forget about it.
Forget about it. What are the Bills needing to avoid doing this week, Mike? I'm going to let you start this one off for us, brother.
They need to avoid turning the football over. That's something that 100%. They cannot afford to give the ball back to Joe Burrow and that offense. They have to make.
Yeah, Mike, I think ultimately we don't want to see turnovers, especially Josh Allen is making good decisions lately, right? So you don't want to see him making poor decisions that hurt this team. And what I want to not see this week, though, Mike, is drop passes. You know how I feel about the freaking drop passes. You might be a quarterback and understanding how much an interception could really piss us all off, but me as a receiver, I see somebody drop a freaking pass and I cringe, right? Because I remember going in my final year of varsity football, I had to catch a short slant over the middle and get hit by the middle linebacker almost every freaking practice, Mike. But do you think I ever dropped the football? No. Because as I was told in JV, you are going to get hit regardless. So you might as well catch the ball and look like a freaking hero versus, not catching the freaking ball and looking like a bozo. So I don't want to see drop passes. Penalties are going to happen. Sometimes you could play as good of a game as possible and you're still going to get the referees officiating against you. And there's nothing you can do about it. But what you can do is catch the ball, look it in, then you turn with it and run. You don't try to get upfield before you've secured the ball in the triangle, Mike. You know what I'm saying? The all-seeing eye. I need to see the all-seeing hands this week. So I want to see no drop passes, because if I see a drop pass, I'm going to say forget about it, but not for nothing. And I love him. I'm not saying nothing bad about the guy, okay? But Dawson Knox wasn't on the field. I didn't see as many drop passes. I'm just saying, okay? And the offense functioned way better. I feel like Dalton Kincaid came in, and the whole trying to use him and use Dawson Knox, it just wasn't working. Dalton Kincaid is a guy that can catch the football. Right now, he's got the highest catch rate, I believe, over amongst all tight ends and receivers in the NFL, and he's a rookie tight end. The kid catches everything, and then he breaks tackles and he sheds guys off of him, and he makes it really difficult for defenses, especially when you could go to him on 3rd and short, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7. And that's exactly why I think that when we drafted him, he was a piece that people might have been like, I don't understand that. We got Dawson Knox, but he was the missing link, in my opinion. So, Mike, I like what we got so far. By the way, let me take some comments from everybody. John Robert says, avoid losing. Man, I appreciate you very much for tuning in, John Robert. Longtime viewer and longtime supporter. The big thing is you have to get Joe Burrow. What do you expect multiple times? Throws him off. If you check out the numbers, you get Burrow, it changes the outcome. Yeah, you got to get the Burrow. And we're going to talk about that and the defensive keys to the game as well as the offensive keys. We got tons of segments coming up live here in the Sauce God Shimburski Sports Show. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to hit that like and share. Make sure to like and follow. Make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on and join us here in the comment section so you can have a good old Saturday with us. And I know that college football is underway. I got my Ohio State jersey on right now because that's my Bills game day apparel, Mike. I'll tell you what, I like it so far. Dawson Knox, better watch out. Dalton Kincaid can catch, and he's over 80% catch rate. I like it so far, Mike. We got some great comments. We got some great energy. And another comment coming from our calling guy, Mr. Addison. What do you guys think is the key to success to win this one against the hot Bengals offense? Well, we're going to talk about that later in the show in the Pain Train segment, Mike. So let's keep it rolling, man. We've got some great vibes. I'm feeling good, Mike. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. There's just plenty of topics to talk about. I don't even know if we're going to get to them all, but we're going to try.
We're definitely going to get to them all, Mike. I tell you what, man, we're rolling right now. Let me tell you this. The last time the Bills played the Bengals, we all know the playoff implications, everything that went on against Miami, the way that we went down in later parts of the season with injury, and obviously everything that transpired on that Monday night game that was in Cincinnati. So there were a lot of things that were kind of looming in the air at that moment that made this whole matchup between Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, I don't think exactly what we were expecting to see. And I think that this year it's a different scenario, different situation. The Bills obviously are going to be hungry coming into this game, furious and ferocious. And overall, Mike, I think that people doubting the Bills right now is crazy. So we're going to talk about that later in the show as well. But let's get to the next segment here because I need to get fired up. We're going to go into the QB sneak segment with Mr. Mike Shimburski. Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow. Let's play this damn video and let's get going, ladies and gents. You're live in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. And now for the QB Sneak with your co-host, Mike Shimburski. Break it down for us in the QB Sneak with some analysis of Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow. Mike, take it away. I think you're muted, Mike. Mike, I think your mic is muted.
So I think there's always a delay with the video, so it takes me a second to catch up.
Gotcha. No worries.
Go
ahead, Mike. Take it away.
All right. So with this segment, all right. So now that that's all calmed down on my end, anyways. All right. So what I have right now, Josh looked great against Tampa, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. His passer rating was 106.7. The only thing that I didn't like was the interception. I mean, that's something that just can't happen against the Bengals. He threw it. It was a rollout. He had a guy in his face. I understand, but figure out a way to get rid of that thing and throw it away, live another down. Don't try to force it. It got batted and then turned into an interception. On the flip side, you got Joe Burrow, who went for 283, but for 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions with a QB rating of 134.8. So that's saying, like, maybe he didn't have as many yards as Josh, but he was efficient. He scored, and he didn't turn the ball over. That's huge. So is just here to take care of the football, run when he needs to. I saw a very much more effective Josh Allen last week because of the fact that he used his feet when he needed it and got him out of situations that, maybe he throws an interception if he forces it. Instead, he on his feet or he scores a touchdown. That's the Josh Allen we need to see this week. But Joe Burrow is no slouch at quarterback. He's been playing well the past couple of weeks, and especially turned out against San Francisco. Like I said, those stats don't lie. He didn't go over 300 yards, but I think his defense kept putting him in positions to score points, and he did that.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase is looking really, really good. 10 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown last week. And, this is coming after he made the comment that he's always fucking open. And he is always fucking open. So, as far as how Joe Burrow plays, I think that Joe Burrow is tremendously talented, and I think that he's a great quarterback. And for everything that he's been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time in his career, even with injuries, that he's suffered too, and everything that he had to kind of go through in college as well. He was an Ohio State quarterback at first until he transferred to LSU, and we all know had probably, in my opinion, the best college football season ever. For any player, really, with the way that he played in that season at LSU, winning the national title and winning the Heisman. But I think he's been blessed with a flurry of talent. The Bengals have definitely done really good things to build their offense up, as well as build their defense up. Their defense can be really good defense at times. Look how they played against San Fran. I think that right now San Fran is kind of seeing, without Deebo Samuel, just how tough it is to kind of shape their offense the way that they want to. But I think that the Bengals came prepared to that game. So the Bengals are playing good overall, Mike. Let's take this comment real fast. Remember, we are missing some big pieces to our defense when we played the Bengals. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Von Miller. Yeah, that's very, very true. Von Miller last year, Von Miller's kind of starting to get back to himself a little bit on the field. The way that the defense is playing with A.J. Epinesa and some of the new guys too, Mike, I think that the Bills are definitely gearing up to make this a more competitive matchup than what we saw last year. So I like the segment so far. Let's talk about this next. The Bills coming in as a 1.5 point and a 3.5 point as in some sports books underdogs, and should they be? I don't think so. But I think that people doubt the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if it's necessarily a Vegas thing here. I think it's more so what they're trying to appeal to the better. I think that people doubt the Bills. They see that the Bengals are winning. They're rolling. Joe Burrow's playing good. They see that they played against the Niners and beat them 31-17. So people are probably going to ride on that train. But I do see them being as low as a 1.5 point favorite. So the Bills are getting as many as 1.5 points and 3.5 points in some sports books. That tells me the Bills will cover the spread. Now, I think the Bills are going to win this game, which by far covers the spread, obviously. At that rate, take the fucking money line, right? But if you don't believe the Bills will win this game, I think that they're going to make it at least a 1-point game. And I don't think that this is going to be an easy matchup by any means, but I think the Bills are going to come in with a bad taste in their mouth with the way that things have gone lately. They're not playing the way that they want to, but they are getting there, and they're starting to find a little bit of that on offense. And obviously, with the missing pieces that we have on defense, we're trying to address that, and we're trying to find guys to step up in those roles. And it's crucial at this point of the season, Mike. But we got some more comments. I like what I'm seeing from everybody so far. John Robert taking this one, and we're going to move forward after this one. Joseph can free up Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau for sacks. I agree with that. Of course, we have the addition of Linval Joseph. So let's talk about this one. The Bills' newest additions, Mike, Leonard Fournette, Rasul Douglas, and Linval Joseph. Let me talk about Leonard Fournette first. He had a free agent visit with the Buffalo Bills originally planned, and then that was canceled. And some people wondered, why was it canceled? Was it canceled because we don't want to sign him? Was it canceled because he didn't want to sign here? No, it was because we anticipated that we were going to lose Ty Johnson off of the practice squad. And at that point, he was not actually taken off the practice squad. So from that point, we were actually able to maintain him, and we didn't need to sign Leonard Fournette at that point. But then we, about a week later, did go on to sign Leonard Fournette, and he does look good. Obviously, we all saw that he's adjusting to the cold quite a bit differently, obviously, after playing, in LSU and Jacksonville and Tampa Bay for, the good part of his career. But, Mike, I like the signing of Leonard Fournette. What did you make of the signing of Leonard Fournette? Do you like him coming into the Bills' backfield?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they lost Hines for the season – and so you only have Murray and Cook. You were expecting to have 3 backs to begin with. So the fact that they bring in a guy that's a veteran talent, he's not that old. I think he's 28. If I could be wrong, I didn't look him up, but I do know he's not 30 yet, and so that's always good. He's been decent Tampa, and he was a good outlet for Tom Brady the past couple seasons. So I think that if anything, he can fill in when he needs to and catch the dump off passes, turn them into yards after catch, and that's a good addition. And he can run up the middle when you get to those goal line situations, a lot like Murray. So I do like the addition.
Yeah, I like the addition quite a bit. And I like the addition of Rasul Douglas, the Buffalo Bills, just before the trade deadline passed at 4 p.m. on October 31st. Of course, Halloween, a little spooky. News came through. We traded for Rasul Douglas from the Green Bay Packers, trading a third-round pick to get him. I believe we also got in return a fifth-round pick. So we got Rasul Douglas and a fifth-round pick, and we also traded just the third-round pick next year's draft in return. So I like what I saw from Rasul Douglas. I think he's 28. He's young. He comes in. Green Bay right now is a team that it looks like they're going to start rebuilding. So I don't anticipate, or I don't necessarily want to analyze his lack of play or lack of production and really put all that on him. I think coming over into our scheme where we have a really good pass rush going for us, we have a pretty solid secondary, even with the injuries and with Kaiir Elam not playing, who was actually just recently put on IR. So it looks like they're going to kind of try to maybe redshirt Kaiir Elam a little bit, maybe add in for the opportunity to kind of come in. I loved that trade. By the way, how the heck was that me commenting? I have no idea. Dan Kelly coming in. Gentlemen, what's good? By the way, check out Mr. Dan Kelly of the Kelly Cast across social media platforms. And also, ladies and gents, you're live here on the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. Make sure to hit that react button. Join us in the comments. Hit that share button. Share it to multiple groups so we can get some more views on this as well. We can get some more viewership because we got the best damn sports entertainment show out there. This is the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Roku app. If you're watching on Roku, join us on my Facebook. Or feel free to call into the hotline at 716-800-1772. Check me across all social medias at Buffalo Sauce God. This is presented by www.buffalosaucegod.com. And also presented by Duff's Famous Wings, the best damn chicken wings. Now, what do you think the best trade at the deadline was? Mike, I'm telling you, Chase Young to the Niners. It's all day for a third-round pick. Him with Nick Bosa, Ohio State Buckeye pass rush. I mean, look at me with the freaking, you know what I'm saying, with the Buckeye on my chest. I'm just saying, that's scary. They got him for just the third round, and I understand that Chase Young is going to be expensive to keep around, but San Fran seems to go after the guys that they want. Go after Christian McCaffrey. And that's easy to do, though, when you got a guy that you just drafted with the last pick overall in the whole freaking draft, and he's making not enough to even live by himself in San Francisco. So, I mean, that makes it really easy for them to do stuff like that. But, Mike, what do you think was the best trade at the deadline?
No, I'm with you. I thought that Chase Young was the best trade, and I just want to piggyback. You're right. I mean, he probably does Brock Purdy probably does have a roommate, but at the same time, I think the league's starting to figure him out, though. So it's the best trade because they need to bulk up that defense because their offense is going to start to sputter. It already has. And I think a lot of it has to do with now that there's enough film on Brock Purdy that he's not going to be as effective as he was. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's got weapons. They have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Ayuk. So they're good. They're set as far as their weapons wise, but Purdy hasn't looked great the past two go-arounds here, and defenses are starting to turn him into a, so to speak. So we'll see what really happens with San Fran, but it is a good addition, already good defense. I think that's a great move.
So for the Bills, though, the addition of Rasul Douglas, I overall liked it. You're not really risking too much draft capital. You're getting some draft capital back in return. And ultimately, you add a guy that's a veteran that can definitely play defensive back in his own scheme, which the Bills are doing a lot of. And I think by Kaiir Elam being IR, at this point in the season, is a good sign that he might get kept. And I think the kid's got tremendous athletic talent. He's incredibly fast. He obviously can play in the right scheme, but we're not utilizing him the right way. We've also asked the kid to do a lot, coming in and being, you got to be defensive back one in a sense with no Tre'Davious White last year. And then this year, obviously with the competition that transpired in training camp, I just think that there were things that were stacked against this kid, Mike, that I never necessarily liked for this kid's development. So maybe they're going to keep him around and try to see if they can kind of develop him in their system a little bit and utilize his strengths because, hey, you drafted him in the first round. You want to get something out of your investment, obviously, at this point. So let's keep it moving, Mike. We got to go into our next segment here of the victory formation, which is going to be our offensive keys for the Buffalo Bills versus the Bengals. But if you're just now tuning in or you haven't already done so, do me a favor, ladies and gents. Hit that react button. Hit the share button. Join us here in the comments. Check it out. If you're watching on the Roku app, join on Anthony Bomasuto's Facebook or join on YouTube at Buffalo Sauce Guy. Feel free to call into the hotline, 716-800-1772. Going into victory formation, let's play that video. Mike, the victory formation offensive keys for the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals is get the ball out early. The Bengals seem to play better defense when their pass rush is really working in their favor. Trey Hendrickson is their best pass rusher, and he's really good. And he obviously has made a difference in games, even against the Bills. So I think really, if you can get the ball out early, I'm not necessarily talking about how you're going to establish the run. I think the Bills establish the run better when Josh Allen is established in the passing game. I hate to admit it, but it's the truth. I don't think that we're a team that comes out and runs it. I mean, sure, there are moments when we can, but that's not our identity. It's that Josh can be efficient and kind of move the ball, and we can establish the run in that factor. So overall, again, I'll talk about the drop passes again. It's so damn important. I can't stress it enough. But
broken record.
I know, and hey, and the turnovers can't happen either. But at the end of the day, spreading the ball around, Mike, is what worked against the Bucs. Khalil Shakir looked good. I liked what I saw from Gabe Davis, and I love what I'm seeing from Dalton Kincaid when we are actually utilizing the damn guy. And hey, Stephon Diggs still had 9 catches for 70 freaking yards. James Cook still had a really great day as well. The offense used its pieces as a well-oiled machine, and I'd like to see that again. I just want to see them finishing drives and finishing with some points as often as you can. But sometimes, Mike, you know my stance too, that finishing the drive means just moving the football and punting the football and pinning them deep and, winning the battle of field position. That can sometimes be the only offense that you can have at that moment. So, Mike, what do you think are the offensive keys for the Buffalo Bills in this game against the Cincinnati Bengals for victory formation?
First, I just want to say all I can picture with you saying catch the ball all the time is like you standing on the sign, like with a clipboard or like your paper, just chewing some gum and just like telling everyone like, remember, just catch the ball, just catch the ball.
Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on, get over here. What are you doing?
Listen. I just need you to catch the ball. That's all I'm asking you to do. Now
catch your damn ball
and make a difference.
And I'd be out there like this too.
Yeah, with your shades on. Yeah, all of it. Yep. And it's
probably have a beer in my left hand too, Mike. I love it. But hey, what do you got for the offensive keys for the Bills?
Yeah, how'd you sneak that in there? All right. So for my keys, anyways, I really like where you're going with it. I think they need to get that hurry up tempo going like early and fast. Do it on the first drive, whether they win the coin toss or they lose it, doesn't matter. On the first drive, just have your first 6 plays or so already scripted, ready to rock and roll. Have Josh call it at the line and just get that Bengals defense off balance. Like you said, if they get some pressure to Josh Allen, they're successful when they do the pressure, or if they can get to the quarterback, then that secondary starts creating turnovers. They're really not that great of a defense as far as allowing yards. They let you eat. They do. You'll get your yards. What they do well, though, is they take the football away. And so as long as Josh doesn't make the mistakes and is quick with his release, which he was against Tampa, you can move this football against them. And then just the real key is to punch the ball in when you get there in the red zone. A couple of times against Tampa, they didn't punch it in. They didn't score, and it left a bad taste in their mouth. So in this game particularly, if it's early and it's 4th down and you're in the red zone, kick the field goal, take the points, you need them. It could come back to bite you if you try to go for it on 4th and don't get it in this one.
Yeah, I think playing smart, instead of being too aggressive, because I think sometimes people anticipate you got to come out and you got to score 7 every offensive drive. And you see that doesn't necessarily need to happen. And the best example I'll give you to kind of pair with what you're saying is the game against Miami. We score our first 2 drives, then we stall out on our third. But Miami stalled out on their third. It happens to the best of offenses. You know what I mean? People need to realize that the Bengals aren't just going to necessarily come out and just walk all over us because they maybe can. The Bills can do the same thing to any team. Even some of the most elite defenses, they can stomp all over. I mean, heck, the year the Bills, put on the offensive slaughter against the Patriots were the second best defense behind the Buffalo Bills that year. So I'm just saying, it just what it takes right here is quickness. I like this comment from John Robert. 2.2, release 7 for Josh against Tampa. That's fast. That's getting the ball fast. You hold the ball longer than 3 seconds, you're asking for trouble. But also, too, Mike, Josh, I saw from Tom Brady obviously making the comment, slide some more. I like that. But at the same time, Tom Brady didn't tell him to stop running neither. Tom Brady wasn't saying to stop making plays with your feet. And Josh Allen talked about how he's got to. He wants to just fucking win. So, Josh, go out there and put your feet on the ground and start running the damn ball and break it down, because that's, Mike, when he runs, defenses have to break down and maybe get playing against him, running against him. That's when the rest of the field opens up for Khalil Shakir, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, anybody. Everybody got to eat that game against Tampa, and that's what we need to see a little bit more of, I think. But let's go on to our next segment here. But before we do, if you haven't already done so, ladies and gents, hit the react button, share button, join us in the comments. It's the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show, presented by www.buffalosauceGod.com and presented by Duff's Famous Wings, and also on the Roku app on Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. in the sit down with the Sauce God as well. And right now we're live on the Roku app. So if you're watching us right now, do me a favor, come on over to the Facebook channel or the YouTube channel at Buffalo Sauce God, on Facebook at Anthony Bomasudo, and join us here in the comments or call us in right now to the call-in hotline at 716-800-1772. Let's go into the pain trains, defensive keys versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and be prepared, ladies and gents, because it's third down. The defensive keys for the Buffalo Bills versus the Bengals. Let me tell you what. It's simple. Pass rush. Make Joe Burrow not have the time to throw the ball. Because I'll tell you what, Joe Burrow, as much as I did see him get a little bit mobile against the Niners, he's not exactly a guy that I'm worried about beating me with his feet. Now, I'm sure that he can make the decisions when he's got to, and he's a smart and efficient quarterback. Let's not deny that from Joe Burrow whatsoever. But if you get pressure on him, and what we signed we got Rasul Douglas, we signed Linval Joseph. That's to come in and help defend against this game right here. This game is what we need these guys for. But overall, Mike, pass rush is what decides the outcome for how the Bills defense comes in to any elite offense. So really, I need to see Von Miller kind of a little bit more production out of him. You'd like to see. He's on the football field. I understand he still might not be 100% himself, and I understand it. I'm not, doubting that one bit. But I still need to see, the progression, and we need production out of these guys. So more Vaughn sacks from Addison. I like that comment very much. But, Mike, what do you got for defensive keys for the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals?
So for me, I like everything that you said. And obviously Addison just said there, more Vaughn sacks. Sure, get pressure on Joe Burrow. But something that I like that they did against Tampa that I hope they continue through the rest of the season is they put Taylor Rapp in at safety, and they brought Jordan Poyer down from his safety position to be able to help out at the linebacker level. And it worked very well. I mean, he almost got an interception, and if he would have gotten the interception that he missed on, it probably would have been a touchdown, the way he broke on that football. It might be even like a resurgence for his career. As a safety, he's getting a little old, but up there in years anyways for a football player. But if you bring him down to the linebacker level, I saw some good things last week on the way he was able to react to some of these passing or move up and make a tackle in the run game. This might be a new niche for going forward for the rest of the season due to the fact of the injuries that we have at the linebacker position with Milano being out for the season. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch. I hope they do it again against the Bengals. I thought it was effective.
Yeah, I think ultimately that's something that we kind of discussed earlier in the season. Was how it was going to be difficult to keep Taylor Rapp off the field because he is such a good playmaker. But you have Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer. Those are your two safeties. Those are all pro caliber safeties. I understand Jordan Poyer might be showing a little bit of age, but these guys can still play at an elite level and still make plays. So utilizing the talent that's available is good. Now, another point that I wanted to make here for defensive keys too is I like seeing the little plays from guys like Jordan Phillips or even Taron Johnson getting a sack. Just those a couple extra bits of havoc on defense from those kinds of guys is huge. So Ed Oliver, he needs to have a big week this week as well. I just want to see everybody step up because last year we didn't show up against the Cincinnati Bengals, Mike. And I understand with everything that existed in the atmosphere and the implications that went into the game. I understand that, but you've got to show up this year because right now this team is at this point there's a lot of question marks amongst the national media and the fan base. Maybe not so much on my end. I mean, I'm sure that I still have my question marks about the team status overall, but overall I still believe that this team can beat any team that goes against them when they play their game the best way that they possibly can, when they play their game the way that they're supposed to. So real fast, let's take this comment as well. Love the level Bernard is playing right now too, especially with his work against the slot receivers coming across the middle. Appreciate you, Addison, for that very much. And yeah, Bernard is still playing good football. You'd like to see him have Matt Milano out there. There was, by the way, a page on Facebook, Mike, and it seems to be Matt Milano's Facebook page. There's no verified status with the page or whatever, but it went sort of viral-ish, like over 15 or maybe 10,000 likes on it or whatever. And it seems to maybe actually be Matt Milano. He posted a picture of himself like in the game on the field and said soon, you know what I mean? With like a blue and red heart, I think. So there's rumors right now that Matt Milano might play in the playoffs should we get there. But that's my point is that you'd love to have him out there with Terrell Bernard and the way that this defense was playing when he was out there. But overall, I'm curious to see how the secondary is going to hold up because, yes, they have probably, in my opinion, the best wide receiver trio in football. You got two number ones, and you got really a 1B out there in Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd can sometimes play like a 1A. And they got Joe Mixon, and as you saw my buddy Gage, 12 Gage, make the comment, limit, chase, and contain Joe Mixon. That's what you got to do. Joe Mixon, if he doesn't run the football well against us, I think that that's going to ultimately help us too, but really you've got to get Joe Burrow not playing efficiently like the way that he has been. You need to get some pressure on him, and that's how you're going to create turnovers, and that's how you're going to create long third down situations, and that's how you're going to get the football back for your offense overall. But ladies and gents, that's the Pain Train segments. We still have some more segments here to go. I'm still taking in as many comments as we can, ladies and gents, but this is the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show live on Facebook and YouTube, and this is live normally Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we are live this week and next week on Saturday as well, while I am on the second shift powering up the railway for downtown Buffalo's Metro of NFTA. And ladies and gents, if you are interested, call into the hotline right now at 716-800-1772. Again, that's 716-800-1772 to join myself and Mr. Mike Shimburski and ask a question or make your comment about the Bills and Bengals game. Nothing hateful, though, ladies and gents. But if you're watching on the Roku app, come on and join us on social media or call into the hotline. Let's go into the weakest link, Mike, of the injury report, but we still got to play that video. Yes, the weakest link. I love seeing Mac Jones get demolished every single time that I watch that video. Ladies and gents, it's beautiful. Okay? That's all I got to say. But, Mike, this week's weakest link, we're not going to talk about weak points of the Bills because we ain't going to think about nothing like that. We're going to talk about this week's injury report for the Bills and the Bengals. What do you got for us so far? What's the status on the injury report? Oh, we got you muted, I think.
Saying that he's limited or out. Right now on the injury report, the Bills only have two guys out for this game, and that's Balen Spector and AJ Klein. So 2 linebackers, one being one just being a special teamer, and then AJ Klein, I think, was supposed to fill in this game, but I don't think that's going to be possible now that he's listed as out with the Bills. They have quite a list going on here. They have Poe, who's out with a knee injury, and then running back Joe Mixon, also questionable with a chest injury. Their guard, Sharping, he's out with a knee, or is questionable. He's a game-time decision. So that's the injury report as far as Bills-Bengals, and the Bengals have a lot of question marks coming into this game as far as who's going to play. And the Bills, 2 guys out, mostly contributors, like that aren't necessarily considered in the starting lineup.
And of course, the Bills are not coming into this game 100% healthy with all-pro linebacker Matt Milano out. Obviously, we all know at this moment indefinitely. And Tre'Davious White out as well for the remainder of the season with that Achilles injury. You never want to see a team kind of come into this type of matchup so heavyweight and so many things surrounding this one as well. And I think this is a crucial game for the Bills to kind of establish to themselves who they really are, as well as, for playoff seeding and things of that nature as well. And right now we can't afford to be losing games. We want to be winning as many of these as possible. But ladies and gents, I'm loving the comments so far. Feel free to join us here in the comments. We still got some more show ahead here. We've got to talk about the unsung hero of the week, what player we think will have the under-the-radar big-time performance. I'm also going to talk about some action for Sunday Night Football's betting picks and parlay picks as well. We're going to get into getting saucy after that, and that'll conclude this week's show. So we have plenty more here on the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. Hit that like and share. Join us here in the comments. Call into the hotline 716-800-1772. Your hosts are right here, Mike Shimburski and myself, the Sauce God, at Buffalo Sauce God across social medias and at Anthony Bomasoon on Facebook. And, of course, check out www.buffalosaucegod.com for all things daily entertainment, sports entertainment, and also for merchandise options with the Sauce God logo and in some Bills options for your tailgating experience as well. And you guys will be able to check myself and Mike out maybe for a Monday night game coming up against Denver, it looks like, ladies and gents. So I'm excited about that too, Mike.
It's in the works.
Matt Milano's going to be back before the end of the season, calling it now, #hopeful. Well, I'll tell you what, stay hopeful, ladies and gents, as we go into our next segment here of the Unsung Hero. Let's play that damn video. The Unsung Hero. It's sometimes we talk about it post-game, and that's who made those under-the-radar plays. But this week we're going to anticipate who we believe will have that under-radar big-time performance. Now, last week, Mike, the unsung hero was no doubt Khalil Shakir. Came out with some big catches right away, and just like, whoa, Khalil Shakir for a few straight passes, like, what? This guy's the number 1 option tonight, huh? It was a little bit different, but he was actually my pick as the overall unsung hero for the season. But I think as far as what player is going to have an under-the-radar big-time performance, Mike, if it's not going to be Khalil Shakir this week, I really believe. Does it right now? Does anybody know if Leonard Fournette is going to be good to go? Like, I'm just curious. Is Leonard Fournette actually going to put? No, he's not good to go this week, right?
I don't think he enough time to learn the offense. I mean, he might get some carries, some easy ones up the middle, or something where he doesn't need to know much of the playbook.
Just burst one for 99 yards at a touchdown.
Yeah, and then he just goes off. Yeah, I don't know, but I highly doubt that he knows the playbook at this moment. I'll
tell you who I think is low-key, because I anticipate that Khalil Shakir is going to be more involved in this offense. We obviously saw that he is, he's catching the football and he's not making those mistakes that we kind of saw in training camp and preseason. And we're seeing more of the glimpse of what we saw last year in his rookie campaign. I'm going to say, though, Deontay Hardy. I think Deontay Hardy has been kind of getting it going a little bit. You see that he's kind of like got an engine that's ready to get started when he's returning some of these kicks and punts. And it's like, I could see that he wants to kind of just burst out. So maybe he's got a play coming his way on special teams. And maybe he has a play come his way on offense that he could be the unsung hero this week, Mike. That's who I got for this week's unsung hero. But what player do you think is going to have an under-the-radar big-time performance?
I think that he's been waiting to bust out and it's an obvious choice almost, only because he got his first touchdown as a rookie last week. And to me, I think it's going to ramp up from there. Dalton Kincaid, I think there's going to be some game planning there. And if they have the hurry-up offense, Josh is going to get that ball out quick, big target, and especially across the middle if it's open up there.
Yeah, I think overall this Bills team has a lot of guys that are capable of kind of being this role right here. And this is a good comment, too, from John Robert. I would like to see Trent Sherfield more involved. If you guys Trent Sherfield came here because Josh Allen wanted him to come here, and I've been kind of waiting to see him get it going as well. It took him a while just to get his first catch. But I think that Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs are too good, but Khalil Shakir fits into this scheme very well for what the Bills do as well. That it's kind of hard to get Sherfield more than a few catches a game, but I'd like to see him get a little bit more involved too, just because maybe you could spread the ball around differently like you saw against Tampa Bay. Maybe this week you can kind of come with 3 different guys, and then the next week you kind of come with 3 guys that you have game plan for that week. Maybe it could be that way, and that could be what we do going forward as well. I think overall, the Bills just, Mike, they can come out there and they can honestly get the job done with anybody that's on this team if they have that establishes their identity and their game plan. I think that when we have an idea and an understanding is what we're going to do in this game, we're set to go. You know what I'm saying? So let's go into this next segment here, Mr. Mike Shimburski. Now, this segment right here, of course, I want to remind everybody that I do not encourage or endorse any illegal or underage gambling of any sort of nature. Bet and play at your own risk. But we're going to go into some betting picks and props. Of course, I'm going to give you guys the spread and the over-under for this as well. If you guys got some picks, I want you guys to go ahead and drop them in the comments right now. I gave some picks on my Thursday show in the sit-down for what I think for parlay picks. But I'm going to go ahead and go into the Bills and Cincinnati. Right now, if you look at different sports books, and I typically like to use FanDuel if I ever bet. And right now, the Bills are only a 1.5-point underdog. But on Caesar Sportsbook, Bet365, DraftKings, and Bet Rivers, the Bills are 2.5-point underdogs. So I'm going to say right now, I'm taking the Bills money line because, Mike, they only have the Bills money line as high as 115. That means plus 115. They're not giving a lot of juice for you. As an underdog, they're not giving you a ton of juice should the Bills come out and win because they still believe that the Buffalo Bills very well could win this game. And they're not giving Cincinnati, they're not taking juice that heavily on Cincinnati either. Minus 135, minus 130, minus 135, minus 135. It seems like the Bills are definitely an option to win this game. So I'm taking the Bills money line. I'm not taking points here. And I'm not just saying that either because I think the Bills are, they're my team. I'm saying the Bills will win this game. They've got to. The way that they're going to show up on Sunday Night Football, Josh Allen is undefeated in Sunday Night Football. Everything that went down last year, we can't lose 3 in a row to this freaking team. You know what I'm saying? That's my pick for that. But the over-under, Mike, is 50.5. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to say over. And I'm saying that because I very well could see something like 27-25 Bills. And that obviously would be 52 points. So that would classify the over right there. I do believe, like I said, the Bills will win this game. I'll take the over 50.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you some props as well. Like I said, ladies and gents, if you got any sort of picks or any sort of big time, it doesn't have to be just Bills, but give us something for Sunday. Or if you got any big picks in for this Saturday of football action, throw it in the comments as well. So right now, over, under, Mike, I'm going to ask you this because you're a quarterback. You got Joe Burrow, over or under 274.5 passing yards.
I'm going to say under on this one.
Okay. Josh Allen, over or under 271.5 passing yards.
I'm also going to say under.
Okay. Now, James Cook is a heavy favorite to go over in this one. 50.5 rushing yards. He's minus 130 to go over, and they're only minus 102 to stay under. So they think that James Cook is going to get some action. What do you think?
Yeah, no, actually, you know what? I would take that one. I'd take action on that. He's pretty solid this season, and who knows if the Bills start out hot, they might be running him pretty hard towards the end of the game.
Now, you take this action. Dalton Kincaid, over or under 40.5 receiving yards.
So I said he's going to sudden hero, so of course over.
Okay. And honestly, I'm going to say
I
would say
like
under.
Gabe Davis to go over 46.5 receiving yards this game. I think Gabe Davis could be the X factor. Maybe not necessarily the unsung hero, but he could be the X factor this week. Where, hey, the guy had
Yes.
4 freaking touchdowns. He's been playing some good football as of late. And when he's being used, you're seeing this team is much different. He is freaking good. Feed Gabe Davis. I like over 46.5 receiving yards for that guy. Now, receptions. I'm going to take a look at this one. I think Stephon Diggs is over 7.5 receptions. He's a plus 112 though on that. Mike, what do you take for that action?
What is that? So then does he have to go over 112 yards?
No, just 7.5 receptions.
Just 7.5 receptions. I think that they're trying to get away from force feeding him, and so I would say under that.
I see him maybe getting 6 for maybe 110. You know what I'm saying? I still see him maybe getting 100 yards, but maybe 6 catches. I like
still
that.
see him having a good day, but I don't know if they're really going to try to force feed him like they have in the past, where he's getting 9 to 10 catches. I'd say under.
Now I'm going to give you I'm going to give you guys an anytime touchdown score, and I'm going to ride with Mike on this one. Dalton Kincaid plus 200. I'm saying he's scoring a touchdown this week all freaking day. Mike, you take that action?
Yep. I do.
All right, I love it very much. So, of course, guys, as I said before, we here in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show and also on the Sit Down and at the Gamebook Network and on Northeast Streaming Sports, we do not encourage or endorse any illegal or underage gambling. Bet and play at your own risk, guys. But FanDuel and DraftKings right now has some specials going on if you guys are in the states where you're able to actually do so and you are of age. So let's go into our last segment here, Mike, of the one and only, presented by Duff's Famous Wings, of Getting Saucy.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Ice cold, nice, refreshing Labatt Blue on a fierce storm behind J817.
It's a cold front, is what that is.
I'm fired up this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get you fired up. Bills Mafia, want to hear me getting saucy this week? It's simple. Mac Jones and the New England Patriots, and also, too, the Miami Dolphins, and anybody that's got anything bad to say. Bills by a billion, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Bills. This is Getting Saucy, presented by Duff's Famous Wings and presented by www.buffalosaucegod.com, your source for daily entertainment, sports entertainment, and all things Sauce God and Bills Mafia. But ladies and gentlemen, this week, let me tell you what Getting Saucy is all about. Getting Saucy is all about the fact that the Buffalo Bills went down to this team twice last year. Not once, but twice. We might not have had any sort of actual result in the first game because we all remember what happened to Damar Hamlin. Prayers and always good vibes to Damar Hamlin and nothing but positive thoughts as he has made his way back to the football field, man. That's saucy enough right there, right? So I'm saying Damar Hamlin is saucy. I'm saying Josh Allen, you got a chance to come into Cincinnati and get saucy on Sunday Night Football. I'm saying that the rest of the receivers on that offense have a chance to not drop any passes and come in and get saucy on them. And then the defense, followed by A.J. Epinesa and Vaughn Miller back on the football field. And you know Greg Rousseau, Group getting after it, Ed Oliver wreaking havoc, Jordan Phillips wreaking havoc. And the way that this defense is designed with that secondary of Taron Johnson, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, and now the addition of Rasul Douglas, you know what I'm saying, baby? That's right there going to get saucy on it. And you got the linebackers of Dorian Williams. You got a good old Terrell Bernard out there and Taylor Rabb getting out there. And I'm telling you, that's a chance for them to get saucy on them, baby. You got a chance, as 12 Gauge said, to contain Joe Mixon and contain Jamar Chase. Okay, well, you got to do so. And that right there can get the Bills getting saucy on them, baby. Sunday Night Football, it's time for the Buffalo Bills to show the nation and everybody exactly who Josh Allen is. And that right now is the best damn quarterback in the NFL. Look up the stats, quarterback rating and all. And I'll tell you, Joe Burrow, get ready to get cold because, hey, they say Joey Burrow, but get ready when you're going down on third and long. Baby, let's get after it. And this is me getting saucy with Mr. Mike Shimburski, my co-host here in the Sauce God and Shimburski Sports Show. And this is live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But this week we are live on Saturday. Next week we'll also be live on Saturday as well. And Bills Mafia, I want you guys to tune in on Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Sit Down, presented by www.buffalosaucegod.com and also presented by Duff's Famous Wings, hosted by myself, Sauce God, at Buffalo Sauce God with my co-host, right here, Mr. Mike Shimburski, and also streaming right now on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and also on the Roku app. If you guys haven't done so, download the Northeast Streaming Sports Network app on your Roku TV and check us out. And this is us concluding the show right here at Sauce God Shimburski Sports Show. As always, God bless, enjoy your weekend, and go Bills. Get saucy.
Well, Bills. And don't drop passes.
No drop passes this week, man. I tell you, you know what I'm saying? Bada bing. Forget about it. Ladies and gents, this is me, the Sauce Guy here, your host, as always, your host for daily entertainment, sports entertainment. Make sure to tune in, and make sure to turn those notifications on, like, follow, subscribe, and get your notifications on so you don't miss any of the content or any of the live shows from myself and Mike Shimburski right here. I want to thank my co-host, I want to thank my producer, 12 Gauge Backstage. I want to thank God, and I want to thank all you out there for your likes and shares and your comments. I want to thank Mark Lee, local recording artist from Buffalo, New York, for the official song Sauce for the entertainment shows of the Sauce Guy. So hey, as always, that's going to be good for us. Go Bills.